think those of us who follow economics and financial markets as I do are struck by the fact that we've had so much progress in the last 4 or 6 years since the financial crisis in many respects of containing market panics and getting economies growing again in most of the world, yet the youth unemployment issue has remained rather stubborn. To my immediate left is President José María Aznar of Spain.
The rate of youth unemployment is double the general rate of unemployment. For instance, in my country, that is 45%. I have my experience, but I received a rate of unemployment in 1986 in 24%. But we have the capacity to create almost 6 million new jobs in 8 years. But the responsibility of the government is create conditions for the private companies to give opportunities, especially for the young people.
Mr. Mabuza, if you would give the businessman's perspective.
You know, business people don't get up every morning thinking about how many jobs to create. We never do that. And we should start thinking that way, more in the context of the more people we get that are employed, the more they will have the earning abilities and capacity to be in a position to demand the products and the services that we offer. This problem of unemployment of youth has not occurred because of the current state of world economy. It has occurred because business people and governments, when world economy was growing, did not create the job opportunities.
Ahmed, if you wouldn't mind giving the UN's take on things from a global perspective.
That means to speak about it from 193 governments' perspective. I'm not sure that exists. To speak also about one of the struggles I have with trying to bring everybody together to talk about youth employment in a strategic way. We can't just blame young people for being unemployed. At some point in 2008, we thought the youth unemployment is all about economic growth. And we have to make sure that we get economic growth. And that happened, and it's been happening in Europe now. It didn't translate to job opportunities for young people. 75 million young persons who are unemployed today, and in the next 10 years, we need around 600 million jobs. And my take, who can create this number of jobs? Private sector alone, they can't. Governments alone, they can't. Even public-private partnership will not generate that number of jobs. Where we come from at the United Nations, we're so much convinced that offering decent jobs for young people start by supporting and investing more. And I think probably I should correct myself and not talk only about support, but rather invest, because we should think of job creation as pure investment, not only a charitable thing.
Dr. Frenkel, from a macroeconomic perspective, what kinds of policies would perhaps set the conditions that might improve youth unemployment?
What are the magnitudes that we are talking about? First, and I think that the President answer already said, if you look in Europe today, the average European unemployment rate across the continent is about 11%. The average, if you happen to be young, on average, your unemployment rate is 22%. If you are less than high school graduate, then you belong to a group in which the unemployment rate is at least twice. So first of all, first and foremost, it's the education, it's the skills, it's the ability to change. It is not short-term macroeconomic policies that will do the job. The issue is structural, the issue is skills, the issue is training, the issue is mobility, the issue is not pumping more money or driving interest rates down or having large budget deficits. They will only create another debt issue that will settle us into the future.
President Aznar, as somebody who was in a position of leadership, what would you be doing now?
I outlined 5 questions briefly. 1, to have a real banking union that diminishes financial cost and finish the Eurozone. It is essential for us. Second, create a common energy policy to reducing cost and improving competitiveness in business. Third, to have a deep single market without disadvantage or difference between the countries that become members of the European Union. 4, to promote mobility inside the European Union. And finally, the decisions in government, the decision and the responsibility of leaders is improving things and give opportunities to the people.
Absolutely.
I think we need to be a bit out of the unusual, out of the box, to start ask questions like, are we as old people capable of thinking what is the solution for young people? The problem has become so systematic that maybe one of the things we could do, we have done it in the company I used to work for, it's a small example, is companies should set themselves targets that says at least 30% of all people we employ must be people that have never worked before. Our fears of what could go wrong is the one that I think we need to start to challenge.
Mm-hmm. To speak about education in particular, I think that's a question. I want to pick that a Twitter example. Our education system currently is not helping young people to go to the labor market. That's true. For me, illiteracy in the 21st century is not about not writing or reading. It's about not being able to learn, unlearn, and relearn again. You can't go to university for 4 years and work for 40 years after with that knowledge. I usually describe university degree as now merely a visa to the labor market, and then you have to take it from there, and you have to develop your skills. You have to ask yourself, do you really offer them the education that teaches them how to think, not what to think? Then, if they transition to start a new business, do you have laws that is supportive for them to grow a business? And the question that is essential for me is access to credit. Living in many parts of the world is a mission impossible for a person to get a credit when they are 22 years old with an idea. My take as the United Nations here, I think you need to enhance the dialogue at the national level. You need national youth employment policies, but you have to make sure that young people are sitting at the table as well.
One light remark, which is telling something. There was once in France a prime minister called Mendes France. His mission was to make the French consume less alcohol. Mm-hmm. This was a major, it's not a joke, it's a story. He instructed that in all the metro stations, there were big signs, don't drink alcohol, it will kill you slowly. And somebody wrote underneath the sign, that's okay, we are not in a hurry. When it comes to structural policies, we should be in a hurry, because that's exactly where we need to start. You have to create a system of incentives, the system where people have clarity of where the things go, and they will operate. Homo economicus is a very powerful mechanism.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate it for all your thoughts. Thank you.